I did that for her and only for her. Not for us. I apologize to everyone. Everyone except for Dan. Dan's the only one I would not apologize to. I really wish that Gypsy could say hi to me. I wish I could just hold on to her and never let go.
In this video, we will be going over Nicholas Godejohn's interrogation, specifically the portion where the investigator walks out of the room and Nick can be heard mumbling something. This will be part 1 of a series going over the entire case file documents, because in those case file documents, we actually have a transcript of what Nick is actually saying. And why is this important to begin with? Because there are now new theories circulating online that Dan may have been involved in Dee Dee's unaliving, as well as calling into question exactly how many times Nick stabbed Dee Dee, because in his interrogation, he says that he only stabbed her 4 times. Dan has also testified at Nicholas Godejohn's appeal, so we are going to go over all of that in this video. I am going to show you what we actually have in the case files, and you can come to your own conclusions. So first, who is Dan? So his name is Dan Glidewell, and Dan is the man that Gypsy met at VisionCon. What is VisionCon? So VisionCon is a convention that is held in Springfield, Missouri, and according to their website, it's a family-friendly convention that features comic books, science fiction, fantasy, cosplay, live-action role-playing, gaming, and more. So if you've seen the act on Hulu, Dan is the Wolverine character that they meet at the convention. However, that is a dramatized series. It was around age 35 or 36 when he and Gypsy first met. So Gypsy tells the story about how she ran away and her mom found her and brought her back home. Then her mom smashed her laptop and chained her to the bed for 2 weeks. So this is the person she's referring to in this situation. Now, unfortunately, this is the only picture I have of Dan. And according to Gypsy, Dan was the very first person she told that she could walk without a wheelchair and what her mother was doing to her. Gypsy says that that day, Dan had told her to run away with him and move to Arkansas. Now, Dan was around 35 or 36 years old, and Gypsy was only 19, and he was married with children. So when Gypsy ran away to go be with him, she actually went to one of his friends' either house or apartment, and someone that was there knew Dee Dee and called her and told her that Gypsy was there. Then Dee Dee goes to get Gypsy to bring her home, and allegedly tells Dan that Gypsy's only 15 years old. Now, what are the new theories circulating about Dan's involvement? Now, this theory is actually catching on because I keep seeing comments like this. She and Dan's story is coming out. Millions are piecing it all together. Now, to my understanding, this all stems from Nick's interrogation, which is why we're discussing this. So now I'm going to play for you the untranscribed version of Nick's interrogation where he mentions Dan. Nick says that he would apologize to everyone except for Dan. And then it sounds like Nick says apparently she decided to go with him, meaning Dan.
I apologize to everyone. Everyone except for Dan. Dan's the only one I would not apologize to. Apparently she decided to just go with it. And screw it. Me, I actually held together until I learned that she didn't lie.
Now, yes, I'm going to tell you what Nick's saying here, but I want to show you another reason why people believe that Dan has some involvement. I'm going to show you just a clip of a video posted by Nina the Beauty Influencer on TikTok. She is also here on YouTube. I will link it in the description, but she has spoke to Rachel Garlick, which is Gypsy's ex-best friend and prison mate.
Allegedly, Rachel told me, her friend, Gypsy's friend from prison, that she had been trying to get a hold of Dan through her while she was in prison, but Dan wouldn't respond, and she was upset because she said that Dan said he'd always be there for her. So I think that Dan had something to do with the unaliving, because apparently after the unaliving took place and her and Nick did their thing, Gypsy went with Dan and then went back with Nick. That's allegedly what happened.
Now, this coupled with Nick's dad's Facebook post where he says it's going to be a shocker, plus Nick's creepy email to the New York Post where he says that he wants people to know he's not lost in the ether of what is going on with whom shall not be named. I am just being patient for my true time to speak. And then he says a lot of these questions will be answered in a foreseeable interview at the right time, which is not now, because they asked him what he thought of Gypsy's newfound fame, is leading everyone to believe that Nick is going to do a tell-all and spill some information that we've not heard before. Now, we also know that Nick filed an appeal in 2022. So at that appeal hearing, Dan actually testified. Now, this is from an older article talking about that. So it says 3:24 p.m. the defense attorney calls Daniel Glidewell. He met Gypsy at a convention. Glidewell kept in contact with Gypsy via video chat. He says that Gypsy told him her mother made her stay in a wheelchair and had unnecessary medical treatment. He says that their relationship developed from friendship to a sexual relationship. They would send explicit videos to each other. He discusses how they role-played occasionally. He referred to Gypsy as being shy and timid. He says he developed a taste of power exchange role-playing from her. He says she would send nude photos, dress up in costumes, and use various fictitious names. Glidewell says he was injured and that Gypsy visited him while he was in the hospital. She told him she wanted to go to Arkansas to restart her life. So now, if Gypsy wants to tell us that the role-playing was all Nick's idea and that's all on him, we now have Dan telling us otherwise because he says that he did that same thing with Gypsy too. But dressing up in costume and role-playing is definitely not a new thing to her, especially with how often she dressed up as princesses and going to all these comic conventions and such. Yes, she may have created characters to fit Nick's personas, but it's definitely something she introduced. Just a few more quick things about Dan and then we can move on. So during Nick's appeal, Dan testified that Gypsy came to visit him while he was in the hospital. And in Gypsy's documentary, she says that a stranger took her to see him. So this is a comment that was made a while ago from the person who Gypsy knocked on their front door. So this says, I posted this on KY3's page, but I'll post it here too. A couple of years back, Gypsy showed up at our door. We live right down the road from where she lived. Late in the night and begged my husband to give her a ride to Mercy ER to check on her boyfriend who had gotten beat up. My husband gave her a ride and he said she talked about Hurricane Katrina and how they landed here. But she was walking and talking fine when she showed up at our door. She was wearing a long wig and he remembers her childlike voice. My husband said she was frantic to get to Mercy and now we wonder if this was a runaway attempt from her mother. My husband immediately recognized her from the pictures posted online and it totally freaked us out because they lived so close to us. So now in these text messages between Gypsy and Nick, everyone seems to believe that Gypsy's talking about Dan here. And if you look at the date, this is about a week prior to Dee Dee's unaliving. So she says, honey, I was wondering, say I wanted to have schmicks with a guy before leaving town, could I? It's just a curious question, LOL. Okay, so I know you're territorial, but I'm being tempted. Then she says, he agreed to meet up. We are going to get coffee at this cupcake place Thursday, so that will close that. It's a public place, so all good, hun. And then Nick replies, dear, still, I told I'll be around in the area of it to make sure he don't do anything, and you have to accept that. And then Gypsy replies, okay, darling. So everyone thinks that this was Dan she was referring to. Then we have the crime scene photos. So a cigarette butt was found outside in the driveway and people seem to believe that neither Gypsy or Nicholas smoke, so this could be Dan's. I've also seen people mention these tire tracks in the front yard, wondering where they came from to begin with and if they could belong to Dan's vehicle. There was also a hat found laying in the hallway next to this spray bottle. So this appears to be a male hat, and Nick was actually asked about this hat in his interrogation, and he said that it wasn't his or that he doesn't remember it. So people think that this could possibly be Dan's hat. Now, it does appear to be a male hat. However, I've seen Gypsy wear hats before as well. And this is a picture of what kind of hat I think this is. This looks like a Saints hat to me. So let me know what you guys think about the evidence pictures. Now let's get to the interrogation footage. I have gone through and added captions to this portion of Nick's interrogation using the transcript from the Greene County Sheriff's Office case report. Here's a copy of this report, so I'm going to zoom in so that we can see what it says. So from the highlighted area, I would apologize to everyone. Everyone except for Dan. Dan is the only one I would not apologize to. Apparently she decided to go with it, like screw it. Me, I actually held it together until I learned she didn't lie and I said screw it, I'll just tell the truth then too. Now, just as a disclaimer, could this transcript be wrong? Yes, I think it could, because as I was going through and adding the captions and listening to what Nick was saying, I thought I heard different things in certain portions. But what I think, in my opinion, what Nick is referring to here is the fact that Gypsy was willing to run away with Dan and not willing to run away with him. We know that as they were planning this out, Nick was giving Gypsy other options and wanted to run away with her, but she kept insisting that they unalive her mother instead. So now I'm going to go ahead and play this version of the interrogation with the transcript captions on. I just thought this would be better than just going through and reading it. Now there are portions that are silence, so I did speed through those portions. I put text on the screen when I'm fast forwarding, and then I put up a play button as well as a sound right before the speaking resumes. Now again, this is going to be when the detective leaves the room. So she leaves the room multiple times. So after she leaves the first time, this detective comes in to take pictures of Nick. After he leaves the room, the female detective comes back into the room, and now she's going to ask Nick about the Facebook accounts that he and Gypsy were messaging each other back and forth with. After she leaves that second time is when he does the mumbling, and we hear him speaking about Dan.
Thank you for giving me that. I couldn't remember what they were.
I'm freaking screwed. I'm freaking screwed. I did that for her and only for her. Not for us. So yeah, it was for us. I wouldn't have did it if it wasn't for us. So it was the only way to be together. I apologize to everyone. Everyone except for Dan. Dan's the only one I would not apologize to. Apparently she decided to just go with it. And screw it. Me, I actually held together until... I learned that she didn't lie. I said screw it, I just told the truth then too. I really realize how screwed I am right now. I kept me in handcuffs all that time, and now I'm finally getting my blood back. The thing is if I tell the truth, like I just did, yeah, it flippin' sucks just having to say it. I really just want the best possible outcome to this as possible. I wonder what it is. I want to know what it is. She said she'd get the best love from me as possible. The reason I said all this is because I better just let it all out. I honestly don't think there's anything else I could do anyway. I really don't like this situation at all. I feel horrible. I miss Gypsy, don't get me wrong. The thing is that she kind of... I thought she was going to protect me, but then she said the truth. I don't know if she did it because she was going to get me the best. I have a question for that lady. Does Gypsy even want to see me? I feel like she betrayed me. Who is that lady? Gypsy's gonna be right back. She's probably crying because she realized what she did for me. Would someone really check on Gypsy for me, please? I got this weird feeling that she's freaking crying because of what she did to me. I know the music birds too, pleading. I made use of the first time. Let's see if it works. I hope she comes back in here soon. I can't believe she gave me a home. I can't believe this. I better be able to see Gypsy. I just want to be able to hold her and tell her, do you can to be home. I'll tell her you can too. With the best love you can for me. Sure you fight for me every bit you can. Because right now you made me take the fall. You say you're sorry. Should have realized it meant that you were gonna let me take the fall. Doesn't look like good night here tonight. It doesn't. I really wish that Gypsy could say hi to me. I wish I could just hold on to her and not let her go. That's the thing that scares the most. You should hurt as badly as they do. God darn it, where the hell is one of those? detectives. The thing is, I already feel guilty. There's no reason to punish me for something I'm already guilty of. Makes no sense. Punish someone for something they already know they're guilty of? Maybe they know it and they learn a lesson and they don't do it again? They don't need to sentence me into anything. It's a one-time thing. I'll never kill again. I freaking waited 26 years to freaking kill one person. I hope that's the only person I ever have to kill. Because if it ever
Nicholas, you stand up for me, please.
Yes, sure.
Let's go ahead and leave the blanket there. Stand here and face the wall for me.
Okay.
Hands to the small of your back.
Okay. What's going on, sir?
We're going to be moving you up to a different place. We're just going to hang out for a little bit, okay?
Okay, what's going on exactly, sir?
Well, I don't know, but we don't have a facility or appropriate place for you to sleep down here. So we're going to be just taking you up to a location where you're going to be able to relax. Hey, don't turn around for me, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just...
Alright, can you separate your feet, please?
Yes.
Anything on you at all?
Nope.
Just need to perform a pat down and a search, okay?
Okay. I was hoping I would have gotten to see Gypsy one more time.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen tonight, okay?
Tonight, the thing is, sir, is that I know that this is gonna be a long wait for me.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I was hoping I would have gonna at least get to see her this one more time before that long wait
I
happened.
don't have it in my power to make that happen for you. So unfortunately, right now, just given what's all going on, okay? Because it's still all in the works. We don't want you guys to talk, okay? Well, maybe down the road that might happen, but not right now, okay?
Oh, the other detective, I thought she was supposed to come back in here. All of a sudden, she's not coming back in, or?
She'll talk to you in the morning.
In the morning.
Yep.
Oh, she left.
Yep. And just step out here for me.
Okay.
You were driving.
Turn to the right.
Driving?
Now, I was originally going to include the questions about the stab wounds in this video, but this is already a really long video, so I'm going to do that in a part 2. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you get notified when I post it. Now, after watching that clip, let me know what you guys think about Dan's involvement in this, because in my opinion, I honestly don't think he has any involvement. I think that if he did, Nick would have spoken up about it a lot sooner than now. But I could be wrong, so let me know what you guys think. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one.